Now we are at number 13, and this is the second part of our video on mathematics paper 3 solutions. And now we are given this type of equation. We need to discuss the solution. Now let's try to read and try to understand what's going on this one. Now you are told that on a Monday, the volume of water in a cylindrical tank was that. Now something you need to notice here is this term cylindrical. It means that think of the formula for calculating volume of a cylinder. Now the depth of the water was 1.4 meters. Now this is giving you the height of the cylinder. Now on Tuesday, the depth of the water in the water tank was 0.65 meters. Now the question is requiring us to calculate the volume of the water in the tank. Now what we need to understand here is the information given. Given a tank here and another one, and these two tanks are congruent. That is, they are identical. Meaning the height of this tank and the radius of this tank is the same as the height of this tank and the radius of this tank. So being required to calculate the volume of the water tank on Tuesday, having the height of the cylinder, now we need the radius. So how do you find the radius? We are going to use the information from this tank, because we were told that this volume is 3.56 meters cubed. Now let's just try to calculate. So definitely from the first tank here, tank number 1, we know that volume of a cylinder is equals to pi r squared h. Now the volume of this part here, it's this one here, which is 3.56. This is now equals to pi times the radius that we don't know, multiplied by the height. It is 1.4 meters. So this is now giving me 1.4 pi r squared, and this is equals to that. Now the aim here is to make r the subject of the formula by dividing both sides by 1.4 pi. 1.4 pi. Now this is telling me that r squared is equals to this guy here, because this one and this one are cancelled out. 3.56 over 1.4 pi. So to find the radius, I'm going to take the square root on both sides, so that this one cancels the 2 there. Then you are left with r is equals to the square root of 3.56 over 1.4 pi. Now that's your radius. So we are going to use this radius to find the volume of the water on Tuesday. Mind you, this was Monday, now Tuesday. That is 2. Still, volume of a cylinder. A cylinder now, what you should notice is that a cylinder is actually a prism. And the volume of a prism is the cross-sectional area. So for a cylinder, the cross-section is just a circle. So to calculate area of a circle, that's pi r squared times the height, which is h. Cross-sectional area times height. That's volume of a prism. In this case, it's a cylinder. So now this is equals to pi multiplied by r. It's this one here, the square root of 3.56 over 1.4 pi. All this one is squared times the height, it's 0.65. Now notice that this one and this one, they will get cancelled out. Similarly, this one and this one, they will get cancelled out. And then you will be left with 0.65 multiplied by 3.56 all over 1.4. And this is going to give you the volume of this one there. Now let's just put in our calculator here. There you go. That's our calculator. Now let's try to press. We have the 0.65 multiplied by 3.56, and this is over 1.4. And there you go. That's the answer there. 1.652. The answer is 1.65285714286. Now rounding off to 3 significant figures, we are getting that the answer is 1.65 meters cubed. Just like that. Let's move into the next question. Now the next question is saying that the points A, -1, 2, B, 3, and C lie on a straight line. You are required to find the value of A. Now notice something here. They are lying on the same straight line. Now, what topic was this? Now, this is a topic on coordinate geometry. But then it's being linked, or rather combined, with another topic called collinear points, whereby we prove the two vectors are parallel to each other. The idea is within this question. So now, if 3 points lie on the same straight line, they will have the same gradients. That means that if you were to say you have the line AB here, you also have the line AC here, you also have the line BC there. Same applies to the line CA, the line CB, and the line BA. Now the gradient of all these lines will be the same because these lines are on the same straight line. Now that we are told that they are of the same straight line, just pick any two of these points and calculate their gradients, then we will be able to find the gradient of A. Mind you, what we are going to pick, one of them must have AB. For example, AB. This one doesn't have a B, so we can't use this one. AC, AB and AC. Find the gradient of AB. This is equals to y at B minus y at A over x at B minus x at A. So substituting into this one, the value of y at B is A, value of y at A it's 2. Divide this thing by value of x at B, that's 3, value of x at A, that's -1. And this is now giving me A minus 2 over 3 minus -1, that's a 4. Now let's find the gradient of C because it doesn't have a B, so we won't have an unknown there. So the gradient of AC is equals to y at C minus y at A all over x at C minus x at A. Now this is going to give me, what's the value of y at C? Value of y at C is this one here, that's 8, minus the value of y at A, that's 2, all over the value of x at C, that's 5, minus the value of x at A, this is A value of x, that's -1. So this is now giving me 8 minus 2 at 6 over 5 minus -1 is still 6. So this is equals to 1. Now being told that these points are lying on the same straight line, their gradient is definitely equal. So now you have your A minus 2 over 4 being equals to 1. Now knowing that this is just 1, so any whole number can be, is a rational number because it can be written as a fraction over 1. Now let me try to cross multiply here. This guy times this. I'm getting A minus 2 being equals to 4 times 1. This is 4. Take this 2 to the other side, or rather add 2 on both sides of the equation. Then my A is equals to 2 plus 4, which is 6. Take all these 3 marks. Let's move on to the next question. Question number 10. Solve for x. Some students' favorite type of question. Now, for this question, you are required to solve for x. Now, once you see a fraction, the first thing to do is just to remove the fraction by multiplying throughout by the denominator. Multiply each term by the denominator, having x plus 5 being equals to 6 over x. To remove the denominator x, multiply this term by x, multiply this term by x, multiply this term by x. Then you're having x times x, which is giving me x to the power 2. plus 5 times x, that's 5x. And this is now equals to this x will cancel that. Then you are left with the 6 there. Now, we need to solve this quadratic equation. Now, take note of something. For you to be able to solve a quadratic equation, either by factorization or using the quadratic formula, first it must say equals to 0. Now that means that we need to take this 6 to the other side by saying minus 6, so that this side you are left with is 0. Then this side you are left with x squared minus 5x minus 6. This is now equals to 0. And then we can solve this one by factorization. So by factorization, let's list the factors of 6. Factors of 6, we have 1 and 6. We also have 2 and 3. Now to pick the factors here. So to factorize this, you are going to have 2 brackets being equals to 0 there. Now factors of x squared, that's x and x. Now factors of 6, when you subtract, you get 5. Let's just subtract these ones. Minus, this is giving me 5. Minus, this is giving me 1. So we are going to pick 1 and 6. Hope that was clear. Take this one, this sign, put it here. Then the one that gives you the middle term, you are picking those 2. Now let's deal with the issue of the sign. This is saying negative. So when you subtract these 2 numbers, this must give you a negative 5. So the bigger number between 1 and 6 is going to be negative, because that's the sign of the middle term. So this is negative, this is positive. Now we have successfully factorized this one. So let's solve. So to solve, given this format now, take each factor equals to 0. So you're having x plus 1 equals to 0, or this one, x minus 6 equals to 0. So if you take away negative 1, this one is gone, then you are left with x is equals to 0 minus 1, negative 1, or 86. This one is gone. X is equals to 0 plus 6, it's 6. So the final solution is negative 1 and positive 6. Take all these marks for good marks. Next question. This one now. Still, we're dealing with fractions here. We need to first do what? Remove the denominator. Now, we have 1 over 3 being equals to 3x minus 4. Now notice something here. 6 can be written as 3 multiplied by 2. So let's remove the denominators here. First, we are going to multiply by 3, which is this denominator. Multiply by 3. Multiply by 3. So this 3 cancels this one. This 3 cancels this one. Then you are left with 1 being equals to 3x minus 4 all over 2. How then do we remove this denominator? Multiply each term by the denominator. Multiply by 2. Multiply by 2. This one will cancel that. Then your 2 times 1, it's 2, is equals to 3x minus 4. Now let's add 4 on both sides of the equation so that this one is gone. Then you have your 3x being equals to 2 plus 4, that's 6 all over 3. This 3 is gone. Then you have now your x to be equals to 6 on 3, it's 2. So your x is equals to 2. 3 marks. Take them away. Now in this question, we need to factorize. That means that your answer should have brackets. Once you see factorize, your answer should have brackets. So how do you factorize this one? There is a minus here. This is not a square number, so this is not a difference of two squares. So there must be a common factor between these two numbers. So in numbers, because there is common factor between 5 and 35, it's 5. And then in terms of letters, we have k squared here and we have k here. So the highest common factor, the k that divides into k squared, and k is just k. So you have 5k as a common factor. So dividing this one by 5k, you are left with k, minus dividing this one by 5k, you are left with 7. So that's your answer. You have your 5k brackets, k minus 7. Factorize, you must have brackets. Take these 2 marks. Now we have this other question here. Unlike the question we've just did, this one has a 3 here. So for some of us it becomes confusing to easily find the factors. So what we normally do, we say take this number, multiply here, then you will have your m squared minus 13m plus 3 times 12 is 36. So now let's list the factors of 36. We have 1 and 36. We have 2 and 18. We have 3 and 12. We have 4 and 9. So basically those are the factors of 36, such that this times this is 36, this times this is 36, this times this is 36, this time is 36. Now take this sign, put in between, plus, 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 plus. What's the answer here? This one is giving me 37. What's the answer here? This is giving me 20. This is giving me 15. This is giving me 13. So we want something that gives us this answer. 13, it's this guy here. Remember, 2 brackets, factors of m squared, it's m times m. So the factors of 36 that add us to, it's 9 and 4. Now let's put in the sign. So this positive sign is saying we have the same signs now, and the same signs are negative. So this is minus, minus. If you try to expand this, you will get this one here, not this. So we haven't successfully factorized this one. So to take this one back to that, don't forget to divide by this number we truncated with. So this is over 3 and this is over 3. Simplify these fractions. This is m minus 9 divided by 3, it's 3. And this is m minus 4 divided, it's just 4 over 3. But still, m times m, it's not 3m squared. So we need to remove this denominator here and write it just there. Then you have your m minus 3 multiplied by now 3m minus 4, like that. And this one is now that. So this times this, 3m squared. This times this, positive 12. This is negative 9. This is negative 4. And it's giving you negative 13. So successfully we've successfully factorized to get m minus 3, 3m minus 4. Take the 2 marks there. Then now what you should know is that with time, you practice this thing, it will become as easy as ABC. Now let's go to number 19. Now the value of a car decreased by 15% over a period of time. State the ratio of the old value to the new value. Write your answer is in this format. Let's look at the answer now. So we have the old value and the new value. So now we are told that the value of a car decreased. So it's from 100, it goes down to 100 minus 15. So this is now 100 going down to 80, 85. So now the question wants us to simplify this such that it's 1:x. So to get the answer there, we should just simply divide by this number on both sides. So you're having 100 over 100 is to 85 over 100. Now this one will give you 1 is to 0.85. So this is 0.85. Just like that. Take the 2 marks. Now we're going to question number 20, which is giving us a question on sequences. Now let's check. You are required to find next terms there. Now the first one are just natural numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and up to n. The next sequence, maybe just a reminder, we have about 4 sequences that they will ask you. It's just 4 general, and then the other one is just a combination of them. We have number 1, a linear sequence. Linear sequence. Now a linear sequence, it's a sequence of this form. For example, 2, 5, 8, 11, 14, like that. What you notice here is that if you say this guy, the second term minus the one before it, this minus this, it's giving you 3. This minus this is giving you this minus this. 11 minus 8 is 3. 14 minus 11 is 3. Just like that, it's 3. The next term here, it's 14 plus 3, which is 17. The next term is 17 plus 3, which is 20, and so forth and so forth. So this type of sequence is called a linear sequence, where this guy is called the common difference, which is sometimes referred to as t. So the general term for this type of a sequence is Tn is equals to a, which is the first term plus the difference, common difference, into n minus 1. For example, the general term for this type of a sequence is going to be Tn is equals to the first term is 2 plus d, the difference is 3, n minus 1. Then to simplify, you're having 2 plus 3n minus 3, 3 minus that's 3n minus 1. So that's the general term for that sequence. Now the second type of a sequence is the quadratic sequence. So what you should notice about a quadratic equation sequence is that it's a sequence of this form. Now, having 9, 16, 25, 36, 49, 64, and so forth and so forth. Now let's try to understand the pattern of a quadratic sequence. Similarly, this guy minus 16 minus 9 is giving me 7. 25 minus 16, that's a 5 plus 4, it's 9. 36 minus 25, that's a 5 plus 6, it's 11. Now this minus that is giving me 9 minus that's 3, and then this is 113, and then 64 minus that. So this is going to give me a 15. And so forth and so forth. Now what you notice that nothing is common here. Let's subtract again. Subtracting again, 9 minus 7, that's a 2. This minus that's a 2. This minus that's a 2. This that's a 2. Now, so this is now the second difference. So all quadratic sequences are going to have the same second difference here, like that. So now it assumes the general term Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Now how do you find a, b, and c? This is how you should find a, b, and c. You have your 2a being equals to the second difference, and then you have 3a plus b is equals to the first difference, and then a plus b plus c is equals to the first term there. Now solve this. 2a equals to 2 over 2 over 2. These two cancel that, then your a is 1. Next thing, 3 times 1 plus b is equals to 7 minus 3 minus 3, then your p here is equals to 4. Now let's try to find c. A plus b plus c is equals to 9. Now your a is 1, your b is 4, plus c is equals to 9. So this is now 5 plus c being equals to 9. Take down 5 from both sides of the equation, then your c is equals to 4. So your Tn is equals to what? Your a is 1 times the n squared there, plus b is 4 times the n there, and then plus the c, which is 4. Now let's try to simplify this. 1 times n squared, that's n squared. 4 times n, that's 4n, then plus 4. So this is the general term there, like that. Now the other type of sequence you have, it's the cubic sequence. This one, the first difference won't be the same, second difference won't, but then the third difference for a cubic sequence is going to be the same. Now it assumes the form Tn is equals to an cubed plus bn squared plus cn plus d. That's the general term. Number 4, the sequence that you will be questioned on, it's a geometric sequence, which is sometimes called the exponential sequence. Now it assumes the form Tn is equals to Rn minus 1. Your a, this is your first term, then the r is the common ratio. For example, we have the sequence 2, 4, 8, 16. Now let's check. If you try to do the differences now, The trick here, do the difference, subtract. If the first difference is not the same, find the second difference. If the second difference is not the same, find the third difference. If it's not the same, try to find the ratio. This divide by this. Now it's 4 divide by 2. This is giving me 2. Now this one, 8 divide by 4, still 2. 16 divide by 8, still 2. So the common ratio R is equals to 2. So your R is the second term divided by term 1, or term 5 divided by term 4, just like that. Then 4 over 2, that's your ratio 2. So the general term for this sequence, geometric, is going to be equals to the first term, 2 times the ratio 2 to the power n minus 1. Just like that, if you are well versed with indices, you notice that this is 2 to the power 1. And then when multiplying same basis, you just add the exponents. You will have 2 to the power 1 plus n minus 1. This and this will cancel out. Then you have your t 2 to the power n. That's your tn. That's if you are well versed with. Now let's try to answer these questions. First sequence 9, 16, 25, 36. Basically, that's the sequence we've just did. This is a geometric sequence. So finding the next term here is going to be 40, 49. Now we're having 8, 15, 24. Let's check this one. 8, 15, 24. And then you have A and 48. Let's check. Subtract this minus this. 15 minus 8, that's 2 plus 5, it's 7. 24 minus 15, 5 plus 4, it's 9. Then this and this, we don't know. This and this, we don't know. So let's try to find here. This minus this minus this is giving me 2, which means that if this is a quadratic sequence, this must be 2. What will tell us is this term. If we can find this term, if this is 2, then 2. If this is quadratic, then 2 is constant. Same up, this will have 2. 2 plus, that's 11. Now 24 plus 11 is giving me 30, 35. Now let's come back and add here. This one, 2 is constant. 11 plus 2, it's 18. 35 plus 13, 5, that's 8. So this means this is a quadratic sequence with a common difference of 2. So B is 35. Now we are required to find the general terms. We've already calculated the general term for that sequence. Then it's Tn is equals to n squared plus 4n plus 4. Now let's try to find the general term for this. Remember, this one is equals to 2a. This one is equals to 3a plus b. This one is equals to a plus b plus c. So 2a equals to 2 divided by 2 on both sides. Your a is 1. 3 times 1 plus b is equals to 7. Then minus 3 on both sides of the equation. This one is gone. Your b is equals to 4. Let's find c. A plus B plus C is equals to 8. A, it's 1. B, it's 4. Plus C is equals to 8. So now this is 5 plus C equals to 8 minus 5 minus. Then your C is equals to 3. So your Tn is equals to an squared plus bn plus c. Replace a with 1. Replace b with 4. And replace c with 3. So then simplify 1 times n squared, that's n squared, plus 4 times n, that's 4n, plus 3. So this one is n squared plus 4n plus 3. Let's move on to the next question. Trigonometry. Now this question is, look at this, 5 good marks. Try to unpack. The perimeter distance around, add all the sides. Once you see perimeter, you are supposed to add all sides. The perimeter is this one. Calculate the size of KLM. So we are required to find, but then we need this side in order to find that angle. Now let's try to find this side. So if this side is x, if I were to say 5.42 plus 9.80 plus x, this is equals to 21.6, because I was told that's the perimeter. So now let's bring in our calculator here. There you go. So now in our calculator we have 5.42 plus 9.80. The answer is 15.22 plus x is equals to 21.64. Now let's take this thing, the other side, minus 15.22. This one is gone, then your x is equals to, let's use our calculator, 21.64 minus 15.22. The answer is 6.442. Now this is 6.42. Now given the three sides of a non-right angle triangle, to find an angle there, we use the cosine rule. Let's use the cosine rule. So the cosine rule will say this one, the side opposite to the angle we are looking for, squared 9.80 squared is equals to the squares of the other two sides, 5.42 plus 6.42. If this was right angle triangle, we are going to, and now that is non-right, there is no minus 2 times these sides, 5.42, 6.42 cos, this is the cosine L. Now let's just continue. So let's take both these guys to this side. 9.8 minus 5.42 minus 6.42. This is equals to negative 2 times 5.42 times 6.42 cos L divide by minus 2 times 5.42 times 6.42. This is negative 2 times 5.42 times 6.42. This will cancel everything here. Then you are left with cosine of L being equals. So let me try to press all of this in a calculator now. So I'm going to have the 9.80 squared minus the 5.42 squared minus 6.42 squared all over negative 2 into 5.42 multiplied by 6.42. The answer negative 0.365. I'll leave it like that. So your L is now equals to the arc cos negative 0.365. Remember, we are not doing solving for the angles. Now we need to include the negative. The L will be equals to, in your calculator, just press like that. That's your arc sine. Answer, which was the 0.365. This problem here. Just a moment. Okay, it's supposed to be arc cos. The answer there. So this is the answer I'm getting: 111.448 114 54225. Then your L is correct to one decimal place, 111.4. 111.4. That's your answer. Take all the 5 marks. Take all the 5 marks there. Let's move on to the next question. Almost done. Cyclic geometry. Now this is a question on cyclic geometry. The vertices P, Q, and S are on the circumference. Now the center, this is the center. Now the reflex angle, so that's the outside angle, is 304. You are required to calculate angle Q P S. Angle Q P S. This is the angle we're looking for. Now, how do you find that angle? Now, knowing this angle, we can find this angle inside here, so that we can use the theorem on angle at the center. Just a reminder, on the angle at the center, you will have something. This is the center, and now this is the angle at the center. Now it's obtaining an angle at the circumference there, this angle. What's the relationship between these two angles? If this angle is x, this angle is 2x. So the angle at the center is always 2 times the angle at the circumference. Now take note of something. What you are always going to do, hold these 2 points here, go to the center. Hold these 2 points, go to the center. Hold these 2 points, go to the circumference. Hold these 2 points, go to the center. Hold these 2 points, go to the circumference. So that's the angle. If we have another thing like that, hold these 2 points, go to the circumference, to the center. Hold these 2 points, go to the circumference. This is twice this one. This is x. Hold these 2 points, go to the center. Hold these 2 points, go to the circumference. This is x. I hope the theorem is kind of clear now. So if this is 304, this angle inside there, it should be 360. Take down 304. So the answer is, that's 5 and that's 10, that's 6, that's 5. So this angle here is 56. So now let's hold this to the center, go back where we started to the circumference. It's there. So this angle is 2 times this angle. Now 2p is equals to 56. Divide this by 2. Then the angle P, which was QPS, is equals to 56 on 2, which is 28 degrees. So this is 28 degrees. Take the 2 marks. Then move on to the next question. Question number 14. Now this is a question on similarity. So when 2 shapes are similar, the ratio of their corresponding side will be equal. What does that mean? That simply means that 3 over B and 3, their corresponding sides will be equals to the 7 over 7 is corresponding to L. This will be equals to any other size. No, there is no other side. Then we need to find something true that is like a complete ratio. What are we given? The complete 2 sides here, so we can find the area here. So the area here is 7 times 3, which is 21 cm squared. Now, so in terms of area, the smaller rectangle over the larger one is equals to 21 over 131.25. This is in terms of area. Now, since area is cm squared, we can bring this one down to cm by taking the square root. So if we take the square root, we are going to get the linear scale factor is equals to, now the square root, let's use our calculator here, the square root of 21 over 131.25. The answer is 2 over. So basically this is equals to 2 over 5. Combine this to find L, combine this to find B. So now to find B first, 3 over B is equals to 2 over 5. Cross multiply. 3 times 5, this is 15, is equals to 2B over 2 over 2. Then your B is equals to 7.5. Now combine these two. 7 over L is equals to 2 over 5. Now this times this is 30, 35 being equals to 2L. Divide this one by 2, divide this one by 2. Then your L is equals to 17.5. B 7.5. L 17.5. I hope that was clear. So the trick was to find the linear scale factor and then use it to find the missing terms for the corresponding sides. Just like that. let's move on to the next question, number 24. Maybe let's jump this question and let's do the last question here. This question on probability, we will do it on a separate video. Let's just do this question. Now the table represents the amount of money a group of 30 people spend on airtime in a week. Money. There are people who buy airtime from 0 to 30 and they were 7. From 30 to 50 they were 10. Then from 50 to 60 they were 8. From 60 to 70 they were 3. 70 to 75 they were 2. Now we are required to calculate the mean here, the estimate mean. So by estimate mean, we are just estimating. So the assumption we are making is that from 0 to 35, they are actually buying the middle number there, which is 0 plus 30 over 2, which is 15, which means these people bought 15 rand each. That's the assumption. That's why they are calling this one estimate. So now let's just try to calculate. So for this one to be friendly, we need to rewrite this table in this format. We have the money here, 0 to 30, 30 to 50, 50 to 60, 60 to 70, and then we have 70 to 75. And then we have the frequency. So the frequency is 7, 10, 8, 3, 2. Now, so to find this data, we need to first find the midpoint for this group here, which we will call it x. So it's 0 plus 30, that's 30 over 2. It's giving me 15. The next one is 30 plus 50, that's 80, divided by 2, it's 40. This one is 50 plus 60, that's 110, divided by 2, it's 55. This is 60 plus 70, 130, divided by 2, it's 65. Now this is 70 plus 75, 145, divided by 2. That is giving me 72.5. Now we need to find the product of the frequency together with the midpoint, that's x, multiplied by f. Now let's bring in our calculator here. The first one, we have 7 times 15 being 105. The next one is 10 times 40, that's 400. Now the next one is 8 times 55, and it's giving me 440. The next one is 3 multiplied by 65, it's giving me 195. And the last one is 2 times 72.5. The answer is 145. Now let's add. We need to add the frequency. So the total, or rather sum, the frequency. So this one, we were already told it's 30. So this is 30. You can confirm it on a calculator, but there's no need to confirm this one. It's 7 plus 10 plus 8 plus 3 plus 2. I did 21 there. And it's giving me 30. Now let's do the other one. 105 plus 400, 105 plus 400 plus 440 plus 195 plus 145. It's giving me 1285. Let me try to redo it. 105, 400, 440, 195, 145. Still 1285. So the estimate mean is now equals to the sum of the column that have x times frequency divided by the sum of the frequency. So from x times f, I'm having this number here, 1285, divided by this number here on frequency, which is 30. So this is giving me 1285 divided by 30, and the answer is 42.83333333. So correct to one decimal place, that's 42.3. Take all the marks there. Again, we need to factorize this question. For terms, factorization by grouping in pairs. This pair together with that pair. From this pair, do we have any common factor? Yes, we have a 5a. And then if we take out 5a from this one, we are left with b, minus 5a from this one, we are left with c, plus. Then any common factor here? Yes, there is 4. Then you are left with b minus c. Now this and this are common, so you take them out, b minus c. What are we left with after taking this guy out? We are left with 5a plus 4. So we have successfully factorized the b minus c times 5a plus 4. Well, that was all on the 2025 Mathematics Paper 3 final examination. Thank you for staying tuned. Watch out for more.